I was saying the quest to set things right and make a difference. No, the incumbent, make sure President John Dramani Mahama was setting some records. Be a Chesaman focus said this man is trying to make a difference in our things so near brepa to make a year Ghanaians believe and trust him. Say the vote or motoman no. He's ready to serve Ghana. Now earlier no state say a year the ministers no any parliamentary candidates, especially the ministers and the CEOs and the directors of the various organizations, no omumbe declare your asset and leadership by example. President John Dramani Mahama has taken that route to declare all his assets. And Niema or one Japadi will be and Sana or Babe president, we're declaring in Yanaman for Ebona Baso Passe. This is good. Ebisu just a way there settings BKK. But before we delve deeper into the matter, Yankosha video of Ebra now President John Dramani Mahama declaring assets.
At this stage, I will call on the Auditor General to receive the completed forms from His Excellency the President. Thank you very much, Mr. President and Mr. Auditor General. I now have the singular honor of inviting His Excellency the President to make a few remarks on why this ceremony.
Chief of Staff to send word to all appointees to ensure that they declare their assets by the end of the first quarter of this year, that is by 31st March 2025. I wish to stress that any appointee failing to meet this deadline would face severe sanctions, not excluding removal from office. In times past, I would privately have presented these forms to the Auditor General in fulfillment of my statutory obligation. I've taken this step of presenting these forms publicly as a way of injecting some openness and transparency into the process of assets declaration. I've always maintained that while it is all well and good to punish corruption, a more effective way of addressing the canker is preventing it from occurring in the first place. I honestly believe that if properly curated and enforced, the assets declaration process can become a sustainable tool for tackling corruption. Corruption by nature is insidious and thrives under the cover of darkness. The more light that is shown on it, the more likely that it will be fought successfully. I've also taken this step to send an unmistakable signal to all public office holders, especially those that I have appointed, that I take the declaration of assets very seriously and expect full compliance from them. I've asked the Chief of Staff to send word to all appointees to ensure that they declare their assets by the end of the first quarter of this year, that is by 31st March 2025. I wish to stress that any appointee failing to meet this deadline would face severe sanctions, not excluding removal from office. In times past, I would privately have presented these forms to the Auditor General in fulfillment of my statutory obligation. I've taken this step of presenting these forms publicly as a way of injecting.
Finally, Ghana for who say he has declared his assets in the Japadi, ne dine, ne car, the name of Bia Wubiano. Wama Wadinsa Shakrata said, these are the things I have, and Sana Meba Bay President, Dachan Kwamano, Ghana for Mbekasebia Wafabi be extra, and I said during his presidency in Awaiwe. But it has gotten to the ears of Ghanaians now, amount for the Dona Nature Madrine Ewo concerning the fact say when you know your settings in Kobebia, Ibisu say is a great step as a president of the state. Yenko Nana Honum Nana, this is currently what is happening. President Mahama said he has declared his asset, and we have some school of people saying that this is a good one. Ebiso say just settings. How is it from your end? What are people saying concerning this issue?
So this is definitely a very good initiative, because trust me, Mahama's second term, what Tre said, it is really worth it. Now, what John Dramani Mahama is doing, one of the things I fear is that one shot a bedroom no Ghana for because oh okay, I didn't cry no say who say for omo ye to aba mo no mu lusu they become so good. So let's continue with this. So that is the fear. That is the fear there right now. But aside from that, I think Sir John Dramani Mahama is doing a good thing. Now, some more kind or say obi biara o abemuno, you need to declare your asset before 31st of March. And yes, I will sanction you. Some of the sanctions include what? Removal from office. So what Mahama is doing, most of us is something that most of us have been preaching for, because you see, corruption there, it will never cease to exist, but almost even corruption will be there now, a very minimal. And I think John Dramani Mahama is acting these days, and what he's doing, HS one day corruption will be very minimal in this particular country, and it's a laudable thing at all. Other people will think otherwise, and people will bring out various theories, but to me he's just doing idea good. I was saying
But some are saying there will be no genuity in this, because say they are declaring their assets, but if a baby no more to media more assets we've seen a lot happen in other countries near there.
Yeah, those ones are there, but you see, declaring your assets, if it will be a triangle, okay. For example, me wa bem ena maye kolulu ena menya contracts. Okay, me create company, the company me use ebi emi nua be me definitely a track here. You be say okay, company no, even though company enya odi na ubi be who is linked to you, and a brony friend conflict of interest. So so there are workarounds in everything. You can't just say brony or antivirus or no also na virus, because nipa why antivirus, if there's no virus, who buy the antivirus?
Yeah.
So
no abe creative.
Or no abe creative is no I can't just say get this antivirus for this amount of money. So that is it. So there's a workaround around everything, that for sure. But the whole issue now is it is a step in the right direction. And remember, I said there are many young people like us. One day, who knows, we might be in politics, and we need to look at this and learn from it. That's just when your propaganda, everybody should do the same. The last time a man for answer then declare assets, no, Gabi Ochida could buy a nation Asante BD to buy a schedule. So I say, and that was the mistake. Banker or mu declare asset, and asset or mu declare, they should make it public record. They should make it make it public record, because Asante
maybe I know Chantrani.
Exactly. And as Bibinia, investigative journalists can just go and pull the data. And I think that thing, I say a year, why am I saying that? Call a year various. In fact, I don't want to expose myself, but then various companies are personally I'm linked with her. Registrar near the idea. Company almost all the directors, the board of directors, their name appear. It is because of transparency. So what I say, interna obi only company there it be track energy taxes, and obi fear be publish it. We need to start looking at those things. We need to publish it. It needs to be in the public domain. So that's how personally I think it should be. Yeah.
Okay. And looking at it, we've seen say wama ultimatum say obia and declaring assets. Is it including the MPs and as MPs funding count?
Well, MPs funding they are not obligated to. Ministers no. Go MP we are limited. What I say, the intermakers and say you are just a lobbyist for your constituency. You can lobby for rules, for infrastructure, for schools, to get your fair share of the national kick. So MPs are usually lobbyists. What I say, but obey minister sana or obey minister no sounds you MP. Why MP no? I sounds you minister no. You stand in a position to lobby for rules from your own ministry. So this is where it comes in. You can create your own company, give the contract to the companies. Okay, you guys should be the people who construct this kilometer road. No, create your own companies. Okay, pay new computers. You guys should be the people who secure the computers somehow. So that is how basically it is. So the MPs, especially one more position, they don't really have even ministers, no CEOs. No, they stand to actually determine where most of these things go. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is all about President John Dramani Mahama declaring his assets now or ministers no so any directors and CEOs to also declare their assets. Abusia, you never go say the same way. She debate you mubi and nebe for aswati.